I don't want us to have. I've told you where the vehicle is.
The truck was actually coming from Ring Road. It missed a step. So as it was trying to gather itself, it fell.
What we are witnessing these days, it is something we can no longer understand.
They should stop telling us and promising us all those promises are fake, giving us distance of promises are fake. We don't want it anymore.
A very pleasant evening to you, and thank you for joining us on BTV Major News at 6. My name is Timitokwe Oluwafemi. And now to the news in details. Amid the reduction of cooking gas prices from 1,300 to 1,100 naira at gas stations, with the black market selling at 1,200, residents have expressed mixed reactions over the development. While some commend the reduction as a relief, others insist that the price remains unstable and still too high, calling on the government to regulate and ensure a stable and affordable price for cooking gas. BTV News' Evelyn Izibili has details.
Cooking gas is an essential household commodity, and residents are urging authorities to implement a more equitable and regulated pricing framework. Residents noted the recent reduction in the price of cooking gas is a positive development, but notes that the cost remains high and unstable. They recall that gas was previously sold at much lower prices and are therefore calling on the government to regulate the market and ensure a balanced, stable and affordable price for consumers. A respondent described the recent reduction in the price of cooking gas as a positive development. However, he stated that a reduction would be more meaningful if the price drops further. He also emphasized the need for price stability, noting that the cost of cooking gas frequently fluctuates due to the usual trend of constant increases and decreases.
It's a good one, but we would appreciate if the price comes down further. We would appreciate. There was a time we were filling gas at 600 naira per kg, so it still come down further. But it's good a thing that the price is going down. It should come down further, and that's issue or that idea of today is cheap or it's cheaper today, tomorrow is more expensive. That has been the usual trend in Nigeria.
To me, I believe the constant price now is actually still tough though, because during then there was some certain times we were filling gas about 600 or so, just like my first interviewer actually said. So the thing is that I believe if there is a reduction or decrease, let's just say equilibrium should be balanced.
Similarly, another respondent noted that despite the reduction, the current price of cooking gas remains difficult for many citizens. He recalled that some time ago, cooking gas was sold for as low as 600 naira. He therefore stressed the need for a balanced and realistic reduction in price to ease the burden on consumers. Still, another respondent described the reduction in the price of cooking gas as a welcome development and a major relief to citizens across the country. He further called for proper regulation of cooking gas prices to prevent arbitrary pricing and exploitation of consumers.
Very, very good development. At least for once, one thing has calmed down. Price of one item or commodity has come down in the country. It's a very good development. If it can continue like that, not only gas, so every other commodities come down like this, at least it will be at least a little bit of relief to the citizens of the country.
Residents welcome the drop in cooking gas price but call for stable, regulated pricing to make it truly affordable. Evelyn Izibile reporting for BTV News.
Motorists and daily commuters are contending with a gaping pothole at New Benin 4th Junction, which has continued to damage vehicles and pose serious safety risk to road users. BTV News' Zainab Mohammed reports that drivers are calling on government authorities and relevant agencies to urgently repair the pothole and improve traffic management in the area. The report.
The pothole is located along a key route connecting New Benin Fort Junction, Mission Road, Upper Mission, and the road leading to 2nd East Circular Road. Speaking with BTV News, drivers and road users complain that the pothole has worsened over the years, particularly during the rainy season, sometimes forcing drivers to take risky detours or fill the hole with sand just to pass. They explain that the poor condition has led to frequent vehicle breakdowns. The road users called on relevant government officials to implement immediate palliative measures to ease the situation and prevent further damage or accidents, even before full-scale rehabilitation of the road begins.
Portrait where they that New Benin here, that the Fort Junction there, that portrait very bad. Maybe some trailer where they come from Lagos Road. Once anything like that, say one trailer want to move for that place because of that portrait. So now most of our drivers now they can't even pass sand. Some kind of sand they feed that place where we say that place they do okay like that. I bet more bet the government make come report do that Fort Junction for that New Benin Park.
At times when some vehicle want turn here, the downly go pull. And when you don't pull now before you know if you can come on. When you don't pull now, you go call mechanic will come before you call to more traffic. See, even if they never tire, may they just bring palliative, may they just level one so that it go still a little bit okay.
Road users further highlighted the strategic importance of New Benin Junction as a key link to major roads and commercial centers. They expressed optimism that timely government intervention would alleviate traffic disruption and enhance safety, trusting that Senator Mondo Opebulo's administration would prioritize practical measures to restore the routes for public use.
It's strategically located along the New Lagos Road, as is of New Benin. So it is very, very important that the governor will look into it. I am very, very sure. I am very, very optimistic that the governor, will do something.
We know say government is child, right from the beginning. We know say they don't do supply road, they don't do Adoawa. They made us come help us for this New Benin. Because this New Benin, it does it.
Motorists and commuters expressed hope that prompt action will be taken to address the deteriorating junction, emphasizing that early intervention and temporary measures could prevent further disruption, safeguard vehicles, and ensure smoother movement for residents and traders along the vital routes. Zainab Mohammed reporting for BTV News.
The rising cost of solar power installations is limiting the adoption of renewable energy across Nigeria, despite growing interest from households and businesses seeking alternatives to unstable public electricity supply. Findings show that while solar energy remains a reliable and environmentally friendly option, the high upfront cost of solar panels, inverters, batteries, and installation materials has made it unaffordable for many Nigerians. The report.
Many households have expressed interest in switching to solar power, but are forced to delay or abandon their plans due to the high cost of installation. Affordable solar energy is critical for improving energy access, reducing dependence on fossil fuels, and achieving climate goals. Research indicates that the cost of solar installation depends largely on system, including kilowatts rating and type of panel selected by consumers.
The people who is in charge of solar, we know bringing out this solar of 18, you people try very well, but the price of the solar is too expensive for the poor people to achieve, because there is no light in the country. Everybody are suffering about the light. Please, and please, with the name of God, we are begging, you people should reduce the price of this solar for us.
Some of those those who have shown interest in solar energy shared their views on the rising cost of solar installations, stating that the technology is no longer affordable for the average person and small business owners. They appeal to manufacturers to reduce the costs to make solar power accessible to more people. Others acknowledge that the increase in cost is linked to the high cost of importing solar components, but still urge companies to consider low-income earners who are interested in adopting solar energy. Another respondent noted that establishing local companies to manufacture solar panels and batteries in Nigeria would help reduce the cost of solar installations nationwide.
A lot of persons want the bigger products, the bigger systems, and solar is like this. When the more you want to carry a lot of loads, the more the money increases, the more the cost will increase. So there are solars that will just, like the one in this office now, the one that can carry light and fans, they are not as expensive as the one that will carry fridge, TV, ACs. There are some clients that say, I want a system that will carry 2 ACs with TVs, refrigerators, and the likes, light and no fans. So it depends on actually what they are going for, right? Because I discovered too that some of these consumers, like the people that wants to use it, they don't want to go for what they can afford per time, you know. So it's a major challenge also for them. We understand that the electricity situation of Nigeria is epileptic. It's in a serious shambles. But that's why solar came in, to substitute for it. But people are not willing to cut their materials according to their sizes. We have systems we have put in place at the initial to make sure that the common Nigerians, like the woman that sells tomato, the woman that sells yam in the market, can be able to afford solar. That's why we came up with the 2,000 naira package, 3,000 naira package for them. But we also discovered that they are not able to follow up the payment. And some will come and tell you that it's a scam. You know? So what can you now do to help them? Do I now come and install free solar for you in your house? Do I now come and install free solar for you in your house? So they are not ready to want to pay for these things. They are not ready to want to pay for these things, but they want to get it. And nothing is free.
Commenting on the cost of solar, the Chief Executive Officer of Pass Management Solar Company, Engineer Eyagbo Pascal, explained that some of the cost challenges are influenced by consumer choices. According to him, there are different types of solar panels with varying prices and capacities, but some customers insist on installing systems beyond their financial capacity. He added that his company has introduced affordable solar options for low-income earners. However, he noted that some customers still hesitate to make payments expecting the services to be free, and advised consumers to always choose solar systems that align with their financial capacity.
This solar, it dey help because there's no light now. We don't see light. Everybody be like to buy, but now the increasement is too much, and we want to make it calm down. If it calm down, so everybody will buy. This one, if the price is too high, nobody will buy. Even if they plan to buy, I know if we buy them again because the price is too high now. So then what I'm trying to now load the price down so that make everybody feel the buyer.
The truth of the matter is that what we need to be done concerning solar system in Nigeria in particular or in general, we need the company that manufacture the battery and the panel. If we have the company here that manufacture the panel and the battery, the price of the product will come down. But if we don't have it, the price will go up. Because import, they have to pay import duty. So that's why the price is up.
As power supply challenges persist nationwide, Stick believes that addressing the cost barrier facing solar installation will play a key role in improving energy access and reducing dependence in fossil fuels. Favor Kolawole reporting for Beetv News.
Two suspected kidnappers have been arrested at the Edo State University Teaching Hospital, Auchi, Isako West, local government area of Edo State. The kidnappers were identified by one of their victims who had earlier paid ransom to them. The report.
The suspects were said to have been arrested earlier hours of Sunday at Edo State Teaching Hospital, Auchi, when they came to check one of their own, who is said to be receiving medical treatment at the emergency ward of the hospital, when Dr. Bamidele, who was recently kidnapped and released after payment of ransom, identified them as some of those who kidnapped him in January, Ibarra camp in Auchi. He reported the matter to those who were on duty before calling on the Auchi Divisional Police Station to arrest the two suspects. Some community leaders, Rewano Oshobugi and the Daudu of Igbe Yekini Sabo, described the development as a major breakthrough in kidnapping syndicates in the area and called for thorough investigation to unravel those behind the incessant kidnapping in Auchi and Edo North in general. They commended the effort of Governor Monday Okpewolo, which they say is now yielding positive results.
Today to say they have a patient, their brother who is in the general hospital. That process they came to pay. Dr. Ibrahim was in the hospital. He saw them, he knows them. He now said, these are the two persons that kidnapping that were together in the bush. He called other doctor to tell him this is what he saw. But before we do that, the doctor he called first, called police. So before we could get there, the police came and they took them away. They identified them very well as kidnappers and they did not argue.
I also want to thank the security agency because what you saw at the Edo State University Teaching Hospital was a fallout of the joint effort at Agbede Forest, where some of these bandits, a few were able to escape, and I'm sure that was the one that came for medication at Edo University Teaching Hospital. And human being what they are short-sighted. They never knew somebody would be there who would know them. And from reliable information, even the person who went to pay ransom has also confirmed these were the persons who collected money from him. So I think Nigerian law, though is very slow, that's why I believe in Sharia law, evidences are abound that these guys are confirmed kidnappers. And so the law should take its course.
The Auchi Police Divisional Officer disclosed that the suspects were arrested and transferred to Edo State Police Command in Benin City on the order of the Commissioner of Police, Monday Agbonika, the facility following their recognition by a medical doctor who was recently kidnapped. Favor Kolawole reporting for Beetv News.
A public enlightenment movement has showcased selected development projects executed by President Bola Tinubu across northern Nigeria to residents of Kano State. The group screened the project to sensitize the public on the need to support the president ahead of the 2027 general election. Coordinator Dr. Nuru Abdullahi highlighted key road projects in Jigawa, Katsina, and Kano State, as well as the Ajao, Kuta, Okene, and Adangwa corridors, noting that the initiatives are aimed at improving traffic flow, boosting commercial activities, and supporting agricultural distribution. Abdullahi also featured interventions by President Bola Tinubu at the Misau Federal Medical Center alongside other ongoing programs. The group reaffirmed the president's commitment to delivering the dividends of democracy to Nigerians.
Infrastructure projects being executed under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, including the works along Babura in Jigawa State and Dawano in Kano State corridors, which are improved traffic flow, strengthen commercial activities, and supporting agricultural distribution in major economic areas. Further intervention under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu include road improvements around Funtua in Katsina State, enhancing access for farming and communities along the corridor, as well as the progress along the Kano-Hadeja route, where better road conditions are reducing travel time and improving safety for commuters.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have arrested a 62-year-old Lagos-based businessman, Wambweze Nicholas Ezweke, at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Makai, Kano, while heading to China with 97 jumbo-sized wraps of cocaine weighing 1.589 kilograms buried in his stomach. NDLEA said Wambweze was arrested on Saturday, 31st January 2026, at the Kano Airport. President Bola Tinubu will serve as the special guest of honor at the National Economic Council (NEC) conference aimed at strengthening Nigeria's economic coordination and promoting inclusive growth across all states. The conference is scheduled to hold on Monday, February 9 at the Presidential Villa in Abuja and will be chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima. The two-day event, conveyed by the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Bagudu, will bring together governors of the 36 states and key national stakeholders to deliberate on strategies of sustainable economic growth. Deborah Odo, the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning and Secretary of the National Economic Council, said the decisions will focus on pressing macroeconomic priorities and nationwide development strategies. Kebbi State Government has approved over 714 million to support indigent students studying medicine, pharmacy, and other allied courses in foreign universities. The approval was announced by the Commissioner of Higher Education, Alhaji Isa Abubakar Tunga, during a press briefing. According to the Commissioner, the funds have already been released to assist Kebbi State students pursuing overseas training in critical health-related disciplines. He said the movement reflects Governor Nasir's vision to build a strong and competitive education sector in the state. The Commissioner described the decision as a demonstration of the Governor's commitment to educational advancement, noting that it aligns with the administration's reform agenda to reposition the state's tertiary institutions to meet global standards.
The Ministry for Higher Education to a total of 714,981,142 naira 44. The Executive Governor has also approved the appointment of Nurse Dr. Mohammed Muntala Musa as the Pioneer Provost to the Kaurangwandu College of Midwifery Sciences and Bursa. So the Ministry for Higher Education remains committed to the standards and epitomes of His Excellency Comrade Dr. Nasir Kaurangwandu on this giant and spread assistance to students in the state.
The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has directed an emergency plenary session on Tuesday, February 10th. Senate Clerk Emmanuel Odo announced the development, stating that all senators have been requested to attend, with the session scheduled to begin at 12 noon. The emergency sitting comes amid mounting pressure on the National Assembly to revisit Clause 60, subsection 3 of the Electoral Amendment Bill, which addresses the electronic transmission of election results. Last Wednesday, the Senate retained the position of electronic transfer of results as outlined in the Electoral Act 2022, but rejected a proposal to mandate real-time electronic transmission. The Senate had passed the Electoral Bill 2026 after hours of debate, approving reforms to election timelines, penalties for electoral offenses, and voting technology, while stopping short of enforcing real-time results transmission. The emergency sitting is expected to clarify the contentious clause and address concerns raised by stakeholders, including the Nigerian Labour Congress. Moving on to the world of business. The World Bank has reduced a planned grant to the Central Bank of Nigeria from $10.5 million to $6.8 million, with board consideration now scheduled for March 27th. The funding remains a grant, not a loan, and is aimed at supporting the CBN's technical assistance facility. The report.
The project, which has advanced to the decision-making stage ahead of final board approval, is designed to strengthen the CBN's technology-driven and data-based supervision of Nigeria's banking sector. It also seeks to improve oversight of domestic payments and remittance system, addressing both existing and emerging financial risks. The revised $6.8 million grant will be fully financed through the Finance for Development Multi-Donor Trust Fund, with no involvement from the World Bank's lending arm, meaning it will not add to Nigeria's external debt. The Central Bank of Nigeria will serve as the implementing agency for the project. The Nigeria Customs Service has once again reaffirmed its commitment to secure border governance and facilitate transit trade, following the federal government approval to reopen the Samiya border corridor in Kebbi State, according to a statement on Sunday by the National Public Relations Officer of the NCS, Abdullahi Maiwada. The decision was made known during a high-level stakeholders engagement held on Saturday at the Government House, Kebbi State. The statement explained that the engagement brought together security agencies, traditional leaders, economic operators, and international custom representatives. The engagement also provided a strategic platform to examine practical measures to strengthen Nigeria's northwest border architecture while ensuring legitimate trade flows seamlessly under strict compliance protocol. European equity futures moved higher on Monday, taking cues from strong gains in Asia, with Japan's weekend election delivered a landslide result that pushed Tokyo stock to record high. Future for the Euro Stocks 50, Germany DAX, and the UK FTSE were all up about 0.4% ahead of the market open. Shares of Novo Nordisk climbed around 4.5% after reports that US telehealth firm Hims & Hers will stop offering a low-cost GLP-1 pill, following warning from the US Food and Drug Administration. Incorporates earnings, Italy Unicredit raised its profit outlook, adding to the positive market sentiment. Deal activity was also in focus. A consortium led by Advent, alongside FedEx, agreed to acquire parcel locker company InPost in a deal valued at about $9.2 billion. Separately, reports said NatWest is nearing a €2.5 billion takeover of Evelyn Partners, while mining giant Anglo American is moving to sell its Diamond De Beers, with Angola seeking a 20% to 30% stake. Favor Kolawole reporting for Beetv News.
At least 9 people have died and multiple others were wounded after 2 adjoining residential buildings collapsed on Sunday in the Bab al-Tabana neighborhood of Tripoli. The head of the municipal council and civil defense officials said the death toll has risen from earlier reports of 6 fatalities as search and rescue teams continue operations. The report.
The house-story structure, each containing about 6 apartments and reportedly housing at least 22 residents at the time of the collapse, gave way in one of the city's most densely populated and impoverished districts. Rescue crews, aided by the Lebanese Red Cross and local volunteers, have pulled at least 6 people alive from the rubble and taken them to hospital, while others remain trapped on the debris. Emergency services, including civil defense and internal security forces, evacuated neighboring buildings amid fears they too could collapse due to structural instability. Residents and officials describe chaotic scenes as neighbors rushed to help clear rubble with limited equipment. Lebanese President Joseph Oyen ordered all emergency services to remain on high alert and provide shelter and support for displaced residents. Prime Minister Yawaf Salam expressed condolences and pledged government assistance, including housing allowances for those who have lost homes. He described the incident as a tragedy resulting from years of infrastructure neglect and urged that it not be politicized. Local authorities and activists pointed to a long-standing crisis of unsafe aging buildings in Tripoli, exacerbated by decades of economic hardship, lax enforcement of building codes, illegal construction practices, and damage from past conflicts and earthquakes. Municipal officials have warned that thousands of structures in the city are at risk of collapse in urgent inspections and reinforcements are not carried out. An official investigation into the collapse has been ordered, with government ministers meeting to coordinate emergency responses and long-term housing safety plans. Meanwhile, residents of the neighborhood continues to grapple with grief, fear and uncertainty as the rescue effort presses on. Favor Kolawole reporting for Beetv News.
And now to entertainment news. Nollywood actress Peggy Ovire recently sparked speculation about her marriage to Frederick Leonard after sharing an Instagram post about infidelity involving a married man and a married woman. The post reignited public interest in earlier claims by veteran producer Stanley Ontop, who alleged in 2024 that Peggy and Frederick's marriage was forced and had already ended. The report.
In her post, Peggy posed a question to women about how they would react if they discovered their partner was having an affair with a married woman who has children. She described a situation where a husband publicly praises the other woman but privately belittles her to his wife, calling her local to avoid raising suspicion. According to the post, the wife trusted her husband's repeated denials that the relationship was anything more than friendship. The narrative further revealed that after marriage, the husband began comparing his wife unfavorably to the married side chick. Eventually, the wife discovered that her husband and the woman were meeting secretly at his apartment during work hours or in hotels, exposing the affairs he had persistently denied. In another development, Nigerian rapper and activist Falz has criticized the country's leadership and religious institutions over rising insecurity, lack of accountability, and a continued cycle of poor governance. In a recent commentary, Falz expressed frustration over recurring violence attacks across the country, lamenting that mass killings are often followed only by official statements without arrest or prosecution. He questioned the effectiveness of government responses and accused authorities of failing to protect citizens or deliver justice. The rapper also faulted religious leaders for focusing on spiritual solutions while allegedly allowing politicians to use church platforms for political campaigning. According to him, this practice contributes to voters repeatedly supporting leaders who have failed to address critical national issues. K-pop demon hunter songwriter Mark Sonnenblick has confirmed that a sequel of Netflix's most watched animated film is currently in development, describing the follow-up as in process. The new adds to growing momentum around the franchise, with creator Maggie Kang previously stating that there's definitely more to explore in the story and its characters. Sonnenblick has had a remarkable year, winning a Global Globe and a Grammy and earning an Academy Award nomination for co-writing Golden, the film's breakout hit and the first K-pop song to win a Grammy. Speaking after learning the song had been shortlisted for an Oscar, he credited fans for the recognition, saying the success was driven by audiences who embraced the film and encouraged others to watch it. While discussing about a sequel continue, Sonnenblick said development will begin with the story before any new music is written, ensuring the song serves the narrative. Alongside this, he is preparing for the London opening for his new musical Midnight at the Never Get this summer at the Manian Chocolate Factory, starring Ben Platt and set in an illegal gay bar in 1960s New York. And that's it on the entertainment news. Evelyn Zibli reporting for Beetv News.
And now to the world of football. Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen has earned widespread praise after gifting 10 million naira to players of Beyond Limit Football Academy, using the moment to share lessons on hard work, humility and faith. The gesture was made during a video call arranged by social media influencer Abdulsalam Idris, known as Smalley, as part of his YouTube documentary, The Side of Football Nobody Talks About. Speaking to the 35 young players, the Galatasaray forward reflected on his rise from humble beginnings and urged them to continue being committed despite inevitable setbacks. He outlined 3 guiding principles behind his success: faith in God, relentless hard work, and readiness to face failure. Osimhen also stressed the importance of education, encouraging the players to stay in school, be literate, and surround themselves with positive influences. He concluding by emphasizing humility as a key trait for long-term growth before announcing the 10 million naira support for the academy's players. Beyond Limit Football Academy, founded in 2022 and based at the Remo Stars Stadium in Ikenne, Ogun State, competes in Nigeria's second-tier league, the Nigerian National League. Osimhen's gesture sparked widespread praise on social media, with many hailing him as a symbol of hope for aspiring young footballers. Many thanks for staying with us on BTV Major News at 6. My name is Temitope Oluwafemi. Do have a lovely night rest. Good night.